All right. I have some content today, guys, that I want to share. Okay? And I don't know if you're getting my emails or not, but I mentioned on Monday that I wanted to dive into transformation, you know, at, with one of my clients. I want to talk about a client specifically with his permission. His name is Jason. And actually, I'm using his real name because he was like, use my real name. So it's a healing that has been transformational, a process for Jason that I wanted to share with you. It was, it's important to recognize when we shift, and he sure did. And I was able through him to experience this process with him of creating a new definition from past events. So my hope is that by passing along what he was able to do regards to horrific and traumatic life-altering experience when he was just 3 years old. My intention is that you can begin to gain access to your own sense of empowerment through new definitions. You see, when Jason was very little, he was struck by a car while walking on a sidewalk along the side of the road. He was struck along with his mother and his little sister of 18 months. Now, there are many details when it comes to what happened because of this accident. But the biggest ones were that his little sister did not survive. Okay? And those nearby the scene believed Jason to also be dead on the road by his sister. By a sheer miracle, an off-duty police officer was able to give him CPR, which allowed Jason to make it to the hospital. With that tragic event, the seeds of a story of a survivor's deep guilt were planted inside of him. A story of guilt that has carried him for decades. A story that impacted so many of his choices. A story that drained his self-esteem, his confidence, and his ability to accept himself and his life purpose. All because the past event in Jason's life, right? This past event in his mind had one single definition. That's it. That he should feel guilty because if his sister wasn't here anymore, then he did not deserve to be here either, nor did he deserve to be happy and free to live his life with passion. It wasn't fair for him to experience life when she didn't experience opportunities in her life. You with me? Can you see how carrying that definition of this past event, a horrific one, okay, can wreak havoc on our mind, on our body, and our soul? This is where our self-definitions, our personal stories that we create around trauma or any life experience from our past can create a loss of your own power and ability to choose. But what I was able to assist Jason with of his past definition was that not everything is set in stone. It can be reshaped and transformed. That he could redefine what the past event meant for him and the full expression of his life and gifts he has been given. And through our work together, of releasing this experience, Jason was able to find and create his own definition of the tragic event of the past. He was able to transform this story into one of triumph and personal empowerment. He was able to redefine his tragic story into one that allowed him to fully see and own his sense of a purpose with all that old pain. He chose to tell himself a story that said he was brought back from the dead to use his unique voice, the voice of an inspiring speaker, a voice that allowed him to pour life, energy, and healing through his ability to tell the toughest stories of transformation, to motivate others to believe in themselves. He chose, right? He chose to turn a story previously defined by tragedy into one that provides him to connection to a calling and his purpose. And Jason has never looked back. Now that you've heard his story, pause for a moment. Imagine what event or events of your past you could redefine. We all have them. And we all have stories that we've created about why they happened. How could you transform this trauma or old story from an event into one where you decide what it means for healing and expansion for you? You always have the power to redefine yourself, no matter how old you are or where you are in life. I promise. All it takes is the proper guidance, backed by your courage, to embrace the change you've always wanted. Because your past does not define you. You define you. Just pause for a moment. Think about experiences that you have a story that isn't serving you. Do you know 97% of the time, there's no, and the reason I said 97 is there's always truth in our stories, some little thread of truth, but the rest of it is a perception we create to make sense of something. Many experiences of the past revolve around holidays. And as we round the corner in 2021 here, we become aware that holidays are upon us. And often that includes spending time with parents, siblings, and additional extended family, which include friends, right? Holidays often bring together family and friends who knew us earlier in our childhood years. Together, we delight in sharing past memories, right? And participate in making new ones. It's part of the beautiful cycle of life. Does giving, okay, lose its joy within this holiday time? Does giving lose its joy with the holiday stress? Is the true meaning of Hanukkah, Christmas, winter solstice, Thanksgiving lost on you because of everything else that has to be done? There's nothing like the feeling of anticipation, stress, and limited time to kill the spirit of the holidays. And I know you know what I mean. I have been mindful of something that I could do for you. Um, and so I created a holiday offer that I wanted to share with you right now. It's called Joy to the World. Mhm. It's bringing love home for the holidays, no matter how you celebrate them. It's just part of the structure, okay? Clearing the next audio healing is called Clearing Jealousy, Insecurity, and Feelings of Never Measuring Up to the family, to your siblings, to people around you, to allow you to have inner harmony and peace. Okay? It's very important. We can't enjoy ourselves if we're stressed or we're worried about things. And the third audio in this program is healing. It's a healing. I got to get my old learned behaviors. It's healing and transforming old learned behaviors, beliefs, and habits to allow holiday joy, the magic of the holidays that really begin right now, right? They really do. These next 2 months plus into January, they're always a pivotal time in the year. These are those learned behaviors in the family dynamics that we have that we take on as our own, our identity. It's what causes us to revert back to our previous self and experience the feelings we did, say, at age 13 when we were around the family. It is our belief system, okay, because of our personal experiences that limit our ability to communicate, to be authentic. After this series of healings, you will be unattached to the negative opinions and judgments you may think family has of you or friends. You'll stay strong and confident in allowing yourself to be seen for who you are, because you're not in the same place. Helping you release old feelings and patterns will change how you show up for the holidays, how you experience them. It will allow you to enjoy holiday experience, all of them. And it will make communication easier and time spent with family memorable. It's a pivotal time. And I just say, let the holidays begin because they start next week pretty much. Okay. So what I'm doing is for this series, it's regularly $297. And for my holiday gift for you, I'm taking $100 off. So I'm calling it a holiday bonus offer, okay? Because frequently an old story we have is how we feel diminished during the holidays, visiting family, having them in and not feeling like they do their part or help enough. It's all encompassing, right? Those feelings after being home for 2 days and being like, okay, I'm ready to go now. And those feelings that we have around the dinner table and not have seen a sibling for a year and they want to brag about everything they're doing or you feel competitive with them. All of these things show up in some way, even if it's the holidays are stressful to get everything done because you're trapped in perfectionism that it has to be a certain way. It'll still be memorable, but you won't be as stressed. I promise. This package fits perfectly. And so really it's a kind of a last minute for me, for you, because it was while I was preparing, I was like, I want to do something for you. I am very well aware of the upcoming season. Traveling, you will be, you may be having cooking dinner, entertaining, or going somewhere else. And I am aware of how old stories impact our current life, like Jason's. And we can change those. We can redefine them to allow more joy right now moving through the holidays, and it will continue because when it clears from one area, it clears from all areas. All right. I'll have to come in and put the link to that because it will only go for a bit, right? It won't be, it's not permanent. And I want to know a couple of things. One, if you have any questions about this, I will tell you, it's probably the easiest type of healing you've ever done because your body will do it. It connects with the subconscious, and your subconscious will always find what I identify and release the vibrational energy of it. Okay? All you have to do is plug it into your ears. You do not have to sit in Zen mode for 60 minutes. You can plug it into your ears and go to sleep. Okay? There's a protocol and it's all written out for you. Now, so if you have a question about that, type it in there. I'll come back in and look at them. And right now, I'll even do it. And then the second question is, what old story did you come up with, all right, that came to your mind when I was sharing really a very personal story? And I'm very grateful for Jason for going like, yeah, man, share my story, give my name, right? That's a lot of transformation to be that transparent. So tell me, you do not have to be that transparent, and I won't share your story, but I am curious, unless you are okay with that. I am very curious, did a story come to mind that you would love to redefine, rewrite, and change the meaning of your current interpretation? Let me know here. It does take Facebook a few seconds to connect here with your comments, okay? And I'll even put my glasses on. Okay. Beth, you missed the story. You'll see it. You know what? I had problems getting on my Zoom. I'm not on Zoom. I'm on Facebook. I might start doing Zoom and feeding into Facebook because it might be easier, but that's a whole nother tech thing. Okay. It's a beautiful story that I would love you to go back in about transformation and how Jason rewrote his story of a traumatic event. Okay. It's really beautiful. Yeah. PK, I see your name, dearest. You've benefited from the Joy to the World series. Thank you, PK. Thank you. Yep. That makes me feel good. Thank you for sharing that. Yep. And how long did it take Jason to see, and where did the story begin? Where the story began, how long did it take him to clear his story? 50 years. -3. So 47 years, Laura. Took him 47 years that he lived in that story. Okay, he was just turning 50. Yeah. You see, I really believe that we all hit different stages in our life on our timeline where we're just ready for change. And we're like, I want change. Like, I'm going to embrace it. And you're willing to do what that takes. I call people who are 40 and above, okay, 50, 60, when they come into this work, I say we're late bloomers, okay? But that doesn't mean, and the reason I say that is because it's a definition that people understand. The truth is, we are never too late to change and redefine our story. That story held Jason back for basically 47 years of his 50 years. Right? Some people get held back in their stories until they're 70. There isn't a judgment on when we are ready to embrace who we really are. Society creates a story, and most of that is for women around our age, our beauty, how, things like that. It is only a story. We get better as we age. Let's come up with some new definitions around that. Yeah. My life got better after 40, honestly and truly. My life, I've never been happier. Yeah, I hope that helped you, Laura. Okay, who else has me in here? Who else has a question? Yeah, that's true, PK. When I was a kid, I came out that I was being molested, and the things that happened because I told them what was happening. Yeah, Amanda, I'm not quite sure how old you are, but I'll tell you what, parents today, okay, they're more equipped than they were when most of us were kids. But what happens is they make it about us when it has nothing to do about us. Society told women that they were molested because of how they dressed or they were raped for that reason, right? Like, what were you wearing? What were you doing? Doesn't matter. So let's rewrite that story. One, your parents didn't know how to solve this, okay? Acknowledge that they didn't handle it well, right? They didn't, there, okay? And then you told yourself it was your fault. Of course you did. Many stories I've told is my fault. This isn't your fault. But I'll tell you what, you actually rewrote that story, at least parts of it already, because you are a much more aware, honest, and transparent mother. Okay? And I think you're in a big growth of transformation personally. Mm-hmm. I see some more. Amy. Okay, I'm going to read it out loud because, yes, that I have to choose between belonging and being authentic, between shining and being safe, healthy. I run into difficulty when I admit this vulnerability to others. It seems to push them away unless I show up completely strong and centered all the time. Well, Amy, you are a strong individual. Let's put it in perspective. That's a gift you have of showing up strong. So what happens is I see it as you get to redefine who your friends are. You can still be friends with these people or your family or whatever it is, but you can have people that don't depend on you so much either, who see the value in having exchange in a relationship. Relationships have to be two ways. And all this is showing you, one thing it is showing you, I should say, is that you are changing. All right. And you're ready for this change. You can show up differently for them. That makes sense? There's new people. I'm telling you, there's new people for you to meet. Is this family or friends? You're welcome, Amanda. Amy, is this family or friends that's causing you to feel this way? Thank you. Okay, well, I'm still talking to Amy. Thank you for telling me that the Zoom works well through Facebook. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, because they've been like, oh, they just updated their platform here. And now, in one way, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not looking down on my far left in a 0.6 font. This is up here to my right in a 0.8 font. So it does help. These are colleagues. Amy, these are colleagues? Both. Yeah. Your colleagues get jealous. So what I mean by that is they don't want to know you're vulnerable. So some of them use you. Okay? So when they have to be responsible, they don't want that. And what this is showing you, Amy, is a lot, actually. There's other ways for you to get the support you need than through them. They're actually not capable. Some of them, it's going to sound like I'm saying they're selfish. I'm not. They don't have the capacity to support. They need support. They need people with wisdom. You need people to understand you. So this causes you to feel misunderstood when they don't want to hear about it. It's just the wrong person, okay? This is their capabilities, not your vulnerability, okay? Yeah, I'm talking about colleagues. Family, let's talk about family when they get uncomfortable, okay? We can have very supportive family members. I'm not denying that. For the most part, family does not want us to change. They know us for who we are growing up. They know all our faults, all our insecurities. They remember, all those times we weren't nice, or we didn't let them go to a party with us, or whatever we did, right? And we remember when they hit us, okay, when they kicked us, when they didn't share with us. So you see, those things begin to surface from the unconscious, okay, when we are around individuals that we have long history with. It is great to clear these vibrational energies up. It is really life difference. Yep. Okay. Hi, Rose dear. And recently I am in another healing transformational group. Okay. Where it seems vulnerability is okay, but am I okay, but I'm being too raw, too real? I'm listening. Okay, I hear you. Sometimes it seems like you always are the space holder. Yeah, yeah. If you think about it, Amy, I could go into that paradigm too, that I'm the space holder, right? With all the clients I see personally, I run two masterminds, uh-huh, on a monthly basis. So we're talking about an additional 30 people, so to speak, that I'm doing healing for. You could say, and I teach my method, you could say I'm holding a lot of space, but I do teach ways, Amy, not to carry that. So because I can help doesn't mean I carry it. And I'm saying that because I want to help you redefine this. You have carried it because it's given you worth, because you're so good at helping people. You understand people, one, through your life experiences you've learned. Not everybody learns with their life experiences, by the way. Don't take that for granted. Okay, none of us should take for granted the experiences we've learned. Shutting them down and pretending that, we can't go in a certain way because something bad will happen to us. That's not learning, right? It's learning like you have, Amy, where you understand it, you use it for like wisdom. People are drawn to that, but you don't have to carry their energy. I'm giving you permission not to carry. Redefine this. Look at how that happens for you. Okay. Okay. I know you're willing to change it, or you wouldn't be sharing, and no, you're not being too vulnerable. Okay. I'm glad you heard me. Let me know if you have anything else. Laura, I cannot think of just one story. I cannot think, oh gosh, what is wrong? Okay, I cannot think of just one story to clear. It's okay. The reason I said one story, Laura, is because oftentimes it becomes overwhelming energetically if we think, oh my gosh, everything I think of in the past is traumatic. Then the brain won't go to it. So I said one, so you can just hone in on something that maybe you think of more than another, or maybe a story that repeats itself in your life. That can help, you know. Um, and you also, I have not been with family during the holidays in years. It was just not something that was important. That's good. Do you spend the holidays with zero people? Just curious. You can. I have a person that I bring into my home. Um, I mean, we're friends, but we become family friends. And so she spends every holiday with us when possible. She doesn't want to go home either. We are home for each other. So it's not that. It's not just that. Holidays are a big deal in people's lives, but where is there old drama in our life that needs clearing? The audios are a little bit different than my work like this because they clear vibrational energy. And that's on an unconscious level. So we can be aware of things in our life. If you don't get rid of the frequencies of it, it's going to repeat. So that's what these do. And if you have to say, if it's not important to you, I get it. Not holidays do not have to be important to us. Okay. PK. The beauty of the program, yes, you do get it to keep to replay. PK, you are very handy to have on. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Amy, thank you, PK. And Amy, you say thank you. You're welcome, dearest. You are welcome. Oftentimes, what doesn't feel good at for you, like, and for all of us, like in this situation, we feel like we're always giving. Well, you have a gift for giving. So, how do you redefine how you give without being dishonored or feel icky? Right? If we find ourselves in conversations that trigger us all the time, don't head in those conversations with this individual. Because sometimes we can't just cut people out of our life, other times we have to. So when it's not so black and white, cut and dry, right? We have to learn how to navigate and own our energy, own who we are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Did I miss anything, everyone? Did I miss anything? Did you say something and I missed it? I don't know. I'll give it a hot second here. Well, re-listen to it, and I'm excited for what I love too about the end of the year like this segment of time we go through is it's a time that we up level in our life. We let go of what isn't working for us. We transform our stories because we want to be ready for the year coming in. And that's what I want for you. I will come back in and put the link to this series up. I'll do that right after when I post the video, okay? Sending you lots of holiday cheer as we go into Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then all the other ones, okay? I will be back on live on November 17th, okay? It's a Wednesday. I will be back then just because of scheduling, all right? You know that I value you. You know that you're important in my life, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share my wisdom, my clients, and experiences with you that you can use them for your benefit. Sending you lots of love. Bye bye.